Do you want more? More time, more balance, more love, more sex, more money, more real, and less bullshit? This is the Women Wanting More podcast with Dr. Karen Osborne. Real life, real stories, plus real tips to get you more of what you want.
There's this funny thing about what happens when you begin to fast forward into the future. In other words, when you step out of the present moment and you're worrying about something that's happening later in the day, you're creating a story about what will happen tomorrow or next week or in the future. None of it, by the way, based on reality, based on your perception, the way that you choose to see things. And we all know this, right? We'll all be like, well, if that happens and this will happen, it's like, really? We don't actually know that to be true. Now, your ego, mind, fear, all one and the same. Your small self wants you to play small, wants you to be in fear, wants you to be in that state. The crazy thing is that overwhelm, although we all feel it at times, I felt it a gazillion times, that it does not exist, like it doesn't have the oxygen to breathe. We don't give it the lifeblood, which is fear and stress and stuff that just feeds it. If we choose to stay instead to be in the present moment. So what does it look like? Well, it looks like of just knowing what is the next step. That's all you have to know is the next step. Now you might go, well, what do you mean, Karen? What if I'm traveling? What if I'm on a work project? What if it's like stuff with the kids? Or what if stuff with my health, right? And you're going to spin forward. And I know that, like, you can be cognizant and very aware of what the end goal is, right? Of what the other steps are. The problem occurs when we start going to step like 18 and all we have to do is next step, the next one, step 1, cool, did that one, now step 2, cool, now step 3. We're aware of what step 18 is, but we're not there. We're not going to that space because that will take us out of the present moment. It'll blast us into the future, and that's where the overwhelm begins. That's where the stories begin. That's where the fear begins. So let me give you an example of this then. So this morning, I'm dropping off my kids. It is summertime at summer camps, okay? So both of my sons, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, especially my big boy Tyson, not so much with him anymore, but we've had some things last week where it's like, some behavioral things, some inappropriate choices, some, not knowing, even though we talk about it and we talk about it and we talk about it and things come up and then we learn from that and we talk about what we can do different next time. Just hard for them as far as like impulsivity and behavioral choices and not knowing how to manage frustration and feelings, right? The same shit that we work on as adults. And yet we have this beautiful opportunity in front of us to not only to awaken to who we really truly are, to remember who we are, but as mothers, if you are a mother, as a parent, if you're a man listening, parent, mothers, fathers, we're kind of like forced to face the stuff, right? Which is incredible. It's one of the biggest gifts of our children is they're kind of mirroring our stuff. And so we, at one point, we can resist it, and we can go, no, and they should listen to, and all this stuff. And we go, wait a second. And maybe there's something for me to see in this, right? And we can choose to be really intentional and really conscious in all of this stuff. So taking the kids, so back to the story. So taking the kids to the camps, and, I'm just not going to know how days are going to go. That's really what it comes down to. Now, it used to stress me the hell out. This is the third summer of doing day camps with Tyson, and the behavioral stuff is better, but I don't know how the day's going to go. I don't know if I'm going to get a phone call. And Tyson's on his last chance kind of thing, right? Here we are, middle of July, and it's like, we got 6 weeks. Like, a lot of stuff going on this summer. Like, oh, right. But as I'm then going to drop off Tyson at our local rec center, 3-minute drive from the house, I know it very well, I've been there a ton of times. And then I go to take Kai to a different one because he's not able because of him just not being able to. I think is what it comes down to is my little dude, even though we've done some full day camps, he's not ready. And if he's, he can from the get just be in a bad mood and he's hitting kids, and they're really good. Like, they're very patient and working with them, and then it's just like, I don't think this is working for him. So like, let's try half-day camp. So at the local rec center, they didn't really have any that he wanted, and he had his heart set on doing soccer. My kid is not really a sporty kid. This one is like, he wants to do soccer. So I found one at University of Victoria. So that's our local university. It's big. Okay. It's a beautiful big campus. I don't know it. So I get this map. And I'm looking at this map, and it looks like, I don't know, it looks like Minecraft. It looks like a Tetris game. I'm like, how am I supposed to find, like, this is a effed up map. And you know that any big, like, university or, like, college, like, they're huge, right? You're trying to figure out where the buildings are and stuff. Even though there's signs, but you kind of drive and looking. So, you know, I drop off Tyson. We get there a little bit earlier for his camp. He's first, and then it's Kai. Now, past me, and if I chose to go into the future, be like, oh my God, we could be late, and what if the boys don't get ready on time, and da-da-da-da-da, and what if we get there, and then Kai, and if he doesn't make good choices, and then he's like, I'll spin out. Right? We've all done that. You don't have to be a mom to know, like, you've done that before, right? So my MO, and I figured this out about a year, maybe a year or two ago, of just like, because I would do that. I would be like, I gotta drop off the kids, and I gotta do this, and I gotta pick them up, and then I got a work thing, and I got this call, and then I got, you know, and I would spin out. And what I figured out is that if I just focus on the next step, I go to a place of calm. And what that really is I'm present. Yeah, do I still maybe go forward a little bit? Sure, but I check myself, right? And kind of like come back. And I might still spin out some days. But I've gotten much better. And again, the key is this. And so how it looked like this morning. I get up in the morning, and it's like, what's the next step? Right? It's like, oh, I can hear Kai's up early. Okay, I could spin out and go, no, dude, you have to get more sleep. And if you don't get enough sleep, and then mommy's morning routine, and then the dogs, and blah, right? It's like, okay, Kai's taken care of. He's going to sit in his bed for a little bit. I'm going to come downstairs and get myself dressed, brush my teeth, get changed. I go take the dogs out for a pee. I come back in. Like, it's always just like, what's the next step, the next step, the next step. Then we do our reading first thing in the morning. And I fed the dogs before that. And then I get my coffee ready, and I'm drinking lots of water. And like, it's just the next step, the next step, the next step. So drop off Tyson and just go like, okay, let me just GMAP University of Victoria, even though I know where it is, but I'm like, okay, let me just make sure. Let me fail safe this, right? And so, and by the way, we got to the rec center, drop off Tyson, my oldest son, and there's no parking, which doesn't happen. I'm like, okay. So see, I could have chosen to spend that out. Oh my God, they're going to be late. What if I don't get, you know, even just thinking about that, it's like, I just want to take a breath and like calm myself, because even just telling the story gets me to that state, right? So I'm like, all right, we're just going to GMAP it. I'm present. I'm driving through this beautiful campus. There's all this green space, lots of trees. And then I'm just like, oh, I think it's over there, even though I don't really know. I'm just kind of going with what I feel. And I go to pull, and there's a girl that's just going through the crosswalk, and I just pull it. I'm like, hey, excuse me. I'm like, where's the McKinnon building? So that's where it's supposed to be, near the McKinnon. They're like, oh, it's just behind the bookstore. What's the bookstore? It's that one. I'm like, okay, cool. So we go around, find the parking, and then that's where the signs are for his little soccer camp. And because apparently they've got a lot of summer camps going for the kids there at the university. And we park. There's not a lot of parking. Again, another parking thing. It's like, oh, one spot. There's our spot. Cool. What's the next step? Okay, found the building. Okay, found the parking lots. Lot 2. Okay, I got the parking pass. It's like a lot of steps for this one little freaking 3-hour camp. And then, just the first time, right? Pull in the parking lot. Great, we'll find a spot. Oh, there's our spot. Cool. And then we walk out. Okay, there's the sign. And there's people there to help us. Okay, go around the corner. And then they check. So it's like, just what's the next step, the next step, the next step, the next step. You only have to know the next step, sister. Now, when I come home and I'm like, okay, I'm going to record a podcast. I had to return a couple of emails, some text messages, because now I'm into work mode. Okay. And then once I kind of got to the university, I'm like, okay, let's record the podcast. And if you have been listening to podcasts for a while, you know that the podcast is about what I experienced in my life and really what I'm learning from that, and to share those lessons with you. Because our life, sister, is rich with lessons. But we're only going to see them if guess what? We're present. If we're constantly worrying about what's coming up, we're projecting into future, we're creating stories, we're attaching meaning to it, or we're running the past, we're running the tape of what happened yesterday. what happened this morning, what happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We're living in resentment and regret and not forgiving and anger and pain and sadness and the people that hurt me and victim and like, ugh. We can't see the gifts in front of us. You literally could have someone walk up to you with a beautiful gift with a pink bow on it. We'll say it's a blue box with a pink bow, give you visual, and they go here, and you go, no, but I got this thing coming up, and I have this shit that happened in the past. Like, you literally cannot see it. And it's right there. And so this is your lesson. This is my lesson and my gift that I'm sharing to you for your gift, because we are all so connected, and really, spiritually, we're all one, having the same experience. We just all think it's different. We just go to the place of nobody understands me. When we listen to the mind, to fear, which is not true. But all you have to know is the next step. And then the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So here's your more tip for today then. Like, I just want you just to think of this, okay? What is the next step? Now, I don't want you to plan this out. Those of you that are very analytical are like, oh, cool. Great, Karen. Let me write down all my steps. No, that's not how it works. Because when you do the next step, then the next one comes available for you, right? So just like when I was driving Kai to his camp at University of Victoria today, it was like, okay, I got to get into the campus. Okay, I'm driving into the campus now. Again, beautiful, like huge campus. And then it's like, I didn't go like, well, then I go here. Then it's like, okay, then it's like I'm watching the signs to see if I'm getting building. And then I feel a pull to this direction, so I do it, right? Because I'm open. I'm present, right? I feel like it should be this way. Okay, cool. It's not because I'm psychic. It's just, I'm just listening to what I feel. Happens to be a girl that goes, oh yeah. And she's able to stop and go, yeah, it's behind this one. Okay, cool. So I don't go, well, I'll pull in the parking lot, and then I'll do this, and then I'll check my meter to see what I feel, and then I park, and then I put the parking pass. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm just doing the next step. So just to have this awareness today for you, and to ask yourself, and maybe hear me saying this right now, what is the next step? Or I only need to know the next step. I'm present, and I'm only looking for the next step. What is the next step? What is the next step? I did it. Okay, cool. Now what is the next step? Now what is the next step? And stay in the present moment. We all talking about being present, how it's important to be in the present, and that's that whole thing. The present is a gift. That's why it's the present, like a present. Get it? Like, we can all say these things, but do we really live them? This is a way for you to live this today, sister. And listen, like, these are the types of things that we go deep on for the women that I do one-on-one coaching with. Right now, there is just one spot that's left for my summer one-on-one coaching. It's 3 months. So this will, yes, roll into September, because right now I'm recording this and it's actually coming out today, mid-July. So this is an opportunity for those of you that either you're really resonating with this message, you've been hearing me talk about this for some time, right? Or you're looking for this opportunity, you're waiting for, you're having this feeling like, I am going through a lot of stuff where I'm in this crisis. I often describe it as this. This is women that are in a crisis, that are in a crossroads, that have tried so much stuff. You really are putting a lot of effort in trying to, navigate what's happening in your life right now. But you realize you just keep hitting a wall. Like you're getting maybe a little bit of progress, take a step forward, and then you get kicked back 10. Right? And so it's not for lack of intelligence. It's not for a lack of effort and wanting something and having a desire for something, but just not having the proper support, right? Not knowing the tools. And so this one-on-one coaching is for women that are just like that, in that spot, right? And this is by application. So you're hearing me talk about it, hearing me say there's 3 spots, and then there was 2, and then there's there's one more left. Because this is an intensity for me to be really connected with the woman that I'm coaching, and you have me 24/7. So it's outside of our weekly coaching calls that we do, based on your goals, your intention, with the tools that are going to really get you to the end of that. And done in a way where, yes, 24/7, like I have a client last night who was messaging me just saying, hey, this has come up and what do I do? And And so before that we lose the momentum, we handle what's happening in the moment right away, be able to really support these women through it in a very, very intimate way to be able to get these results quickly over 90 days. And so if this is something that you would like to do, is by application, here's what you need to do. I need you to email me and say, yes, Karen, I'd like to apply for the last spot. Okay. It's drkarenosburn@gmail.com. So it's drkarenosburn@gmail.com. So drkarenosburn@gmail.com. Email me and say, I'd like to apply, and I will give you further directions from there. Okay, and from what I'm seeing, like I have another application call today, and the applications are just constantly coming in. So this will be gone maybe today, maybe this, like for sure this week. I'm really seeing by this week, like that'll be it. Doors will be closed. So email me, drkarenosburn@gmail.com. Say, yes, I would like to apply, please, Karen. And again, I will send you further instructions from there. So I will talk to them on the next episode, sister. A life of more really is one step away from you just saying, what is the next step? And being present every single day. I love and appreciate you.
To get the show notes of each Women Wanting More episode, including the How to Get More tip, subscribe to the newsletter at drkarenosburn.com/newsletter.